So listen, today I am a little bit of a fangirl. I am super excited for our guest that is with us in the virtual green room, hanging out right now, ready to come up to the mic. We are so excited that Marie Denee is here with us. She's the creator of the Curvy Fashionista. Hashtag influencer. She didn't have that in her bio. I'm adding that in. And today we're going to be talking about the business of blogging. I have followed her for years and I love, love, love all that she puts out, everything that she does. And we're going to just take a peek and kind of peer into her life for a little bit and learn a little bit more about her. And we're excited that you're here checking us out on the Charvette Mitchell radio show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. So we're going to get right into it right after this quick intro. Don't you move. Don't you go anywhere. You're live with us here on the Charvette Mitchell radio show.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
All right. Hey, dolls. Hey, gents. We are excited to have you here live. Listen, I see the virtual studio is filling up. Hello to Facebook, our business page, our Facebook group, our personal page on Facebook. Hello to YouTube. We see YouTube is holding it up. Hello to Twitter. Hello to LinkedIn. Hello to Twitter. Hello to those that are listening in the podcast version. We love you guys. You all hold us down. And certainly those that are checking us out on Blog Talk Radio. We appreciate you for being here. Let me greet a few of our listeners and viewers that are here. Hey, Sharon, thank you so much for being here. Hey, girl. Hey, Sharice, thank you for stopping by. Hello, Aisha. I knew you were going to be here because this is all up in your alley. Thanks for being here on YouTube. Listen, got a shout out to my mom. Hey, mom, thank you for being here. And listen, we can't do it without some more family in the building on YouTube. Hey, Kim, Deborah, and Zonla. That's all family right there coming on in. Hello, Dr. Jackie. Glad to have you. Let's see here. Hey, Lori. Glad to have you, Jewel. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, we appreciate you joining us here on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, which our goal is to motivate, excite, and influence. And if you're saying, I'm brand new to you, girl, I don't even know who you are. I am Charvette Mitchell, the owner of Mitchell Productions Consulting. I'm a marketing consultant, and we work with female entrepreneurs. Sometimes a few lucky men get sprinkled in, all around raising the visibility of their brand so that they generate more revenue. So that's a little bit about what we do. And this show is one of those outlets. Big shout out to today's sponsor of the show is an upcoming webinar that I have literally 2 days from now. Yes, it is taking place on Thursday, May 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I want you to join me for this particular webinar, 3 keys to more revenue, focusing on your positioning and your visibility and your authority. We'll share a little bit more about that. I'm going to drop the link in the comments as well while you are here. Go ahead and tag a business bestie. Go ahead and tag anyone, I would say leadership, anyone, business, not-for-profit, nonprofit, ministry, all can partake in this and learn from it. So let me share a little bit about my guest who is waiting to come up right now. While we know that all the algorithms are working in our favor, sending out notifications to all of our viewers and listeners that are coming on in. And again, today's topic, the business of blogging. We're super excited to have Marie Denee with us. She is the creator of the digital plus-size media platform, the Curvy Fashionista, with over 11 years of prior retail and management experience and her MBA in marketing. Marie often is sought after for her industry knowledge, marketing expertise, and the ins and outs of plus size fashion. You know, that's right up my alley. I'm a big girl. If you didn't know, now you know. And as an industry veteran, she has received many honors, including the Roots 100 list of most influential African Americans, the Network Journal's Top 40, Under 40, and BET's Future 40 Awards. She's been featured in a number of publications such as Forbes and Ebony and Essence and Glamour magazine and Black Enterprise magazine, and the list goes on. The Wall Street Journal, the Los Angeles Times. Now she can add the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. And then certainly she has partnered with top retailers and brands such as Nordstrom, Old Navy, and Ashley Stewart, and Eloquy, and Chevrolet, and the list goes on. Put your virtual hands together, clap it up as we bring our guest live on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, Marie Denee. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you for being a Twitter homie and being like, hey, girl. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. So I love kind of the backdrop of stories. I'm one of those. I don't know if you watch Bridgerton. Have you guys swept into that?
Have I?
Like,
I'm offended like you had that you didn't. I mean, I am obsessed.
we are obsessed, right? So I love like this one about Charlotte. I love backstories. I want to hear the backstory. And so tell us, let's kind of go back, that retail experience, that management experience, getting your marketing and MBA. When did and how did the Curvy Fashionista get birthed and come about? Like 2008, I believe, right?
Yeah, I just finished my MBA in marketing. And I was working at the time in retail, and what I learned was that like blogs, they weren't even called blogs back then. They were like web logs. Like that's where blog comes from, 2 words. I'm a big but I learned about it as a marketing tool. And so in my head, I wanted to open a boutique. I wanted to open up a boutique, and I'm like, hi Sharon, thank you, girl. I wanted to open a boutique, and I wanted to have my own store. And so, but what I learned is that like, I did end up launching my boutique, but it was like online only. It was like for 1 season. And that's when I realized I wasn't Superwoman and I couldn't do all the things, because I started the Curvy Fashionista to kind of tell the story. Look what we found. Look at this resource right here.
Yeah.
Look at this. We've got this. And here's why this is important. And here's what to look for and how to educating, empowering, like that from that space.
Yeah.
And I had to close my online boutique, because like I realized I'm onto something here. Like this Curvy Fashionista stuff is like, there's something here I didn't know and understand. And it's only up until like probably 2 years ago that I really understand what I had built.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, like really, people hear influencer now and they just kind of imagine, they just kind of think, oh, the cute pictures or the cute 30-second video. Like the blogging, you building influence like a mini journalist in essence. Like so talk about like how the Curvy Fashionista, like that blog and what you included in your blog that kind of drew the attention in the audience.
So what was like really important for me was, I lasered in on the contemporary pieces, not so much fast fashion, but like these really innovative designers that were giving us like our equals of like, okay, it's not DKNY, but who's giving me that? It's not Mark by Marc Jacobs, but who's giving me that? It's not DVF, but who's giving me that in the plus space? It's finding those contemporaries. And that has been, and especially in an accessible way where it didn't feel stuffy, where you felt welcome, where we can really talk about it, right? Like, let's have some fun with this. And so that is where it started, and it has grown and evolved in the sense like the core is still the same. We still provide that, but now it's really about it's about the lifestyle of a Curvy Fashionista, right? Like it's her beauty choices, it's her hair choices, it's it's how does she live her life, how do they live their life. And as I have grown, so has the brand. And so now I'm learning like different ways. Like I love home stuff. I'm like, how can we bring home stuff into like, how does this make sense? Like, I'm trying to learn how to best show up and meet her where she is, meet the readers where they are. And it's interesting that my audience like falls mostly in the 25 to 45, then 45 to 60, and then 18 to 25. And so it's very unique in that way, because normally it's the gradual, but it's opposite. But it makes sense from a marketing perspective in the plus size space. Like
Yeah.
it makes sense. And so, I mean, I'm 41 and I'm sounds really weird to say. I'm 41 and
You're fabulous. Listen, I'm plus. I'm a few plus beyond that.
but you know, like navigating through that like is it's interesting as your business is like your baby, but like you're also realizing your own life changes. So
Yeah.
I talk about mental health. I talk about um getting active and different ways that we intersect plus and
Yeah.
like and it's just grown from there. I listen to what people are asking. I love being a fly on the wall and being
Uh-huh.
able to give the readers what they're asking and talking about.
When did you know, okay, I can live like this is, when did you know this is a full-time thing here?
So I had the opposite reality, the opposite realization.
Oh,
Um, January, February of 2009, I had a brand sent me some clothing. Um, and I was like, this is a transaction,
mm-hmm.
but I don't know how to make it make money. Hi, B. Hey, B. Hey, girl. Hey. I didn't know how to make that make money, but I realized like, okay, this is a transaction. They're wanting my words. Obviously, my audience means something of value, but I
Yeah.
still didn't know. Like, I mean, it was literally like before the Wild Wild West, right? It was pre Wild Wild West of
Yes.
blogging, right? So we're kind of like, okay, what is happening? What's going on? Like, does
Yeah.
anyone know how to do what this means? But I think for me, what really I had ended up losing my job Friday the 13th of March 2009.
Whoa.
And so I'd already started TCF. It was already like on its like go girl, let's do this kind of momentum. And so
Yeah.
I literally was able to just take that leap of faith. I came home, talked to my homegirls. There was like, you're doing it. Let's go. Stop talking about it. Time to be about it. And I was very fortunate to be surrounded by my girlfriends who are still here to this very day
Oh,
that pushed me to go that route. And it was like right at the peak of the recession. Nobody wanted to hire a newly MBA student. I didn't want to lie about say that I didn't have one because like I mean I
right.
didn't spend all that money for it.
Right. Okay.
So, so with all of that being said, like I literally that's when I took the leap and I hadn't looked back.
Haven't looked back since 2009. Have not looked back before again. And I want to like be really clear, viewers and listeners. Like this was before like influencer marketing is really hot, everything now. This was pre that. Like you were one of the establishmentarians, if that's a word.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
We'll take it right. And so someone might be saying, and welcome to all those that are popping on in. You're checking out the Charvette Mitchell radio show. In this topic is the business of blogging. So someone might be saying, well, how do you make money? How does one make money from blogging?
So one of the things I've actually held a couple of masterminds on this.
Oh, good.
Um, what's really important is that you understand your why when you're starting and you stay consistent to it. You
Ah,
hold tight. That is your North Star, your guiding light. One. Two, you need to build a relationship with your audience. You have to build your audience to it's weird because if I were to say these same things now, like it's I don't know how true it is, right?
mm,
Because of how the market is already shifted again. But I will say it's always important to build your audience, build that trust, right?
yeah.
Before you start trying to push, push, push. And I
Mhm.
say that it's changed because like you see like because of the microblogging sites on Instagram and TikTok where people are like constantly modeling product and that's the relationship and trust that they've built, right? They've
Yeah.
built that if they bought something, they put it on, they're showing you how it looks. They're even showing you the ugly things that don't look cute. That
Right.
is a relationship building thing and they're consistent.
Oh, I
They're,
love
they're
this.
consistent, right? So you're consistent with your audience so that this way, when you do come to them with an offer, they're going to be more receptive to understanding, to processing, to like, they're really going to connect with you, right? And it's really about showing up as your authentic self, because as we've learned, like Twitter will pull your like old 2012 tweet from when you were, 10 years younger.
Right.
You may have been wilding out in them streets. Like,
Yeah.
so it's really important that you show up authentically and really allow, like, look at how people are, look at how Beyonce is right now in concert. People are seeing her really enjoy having fun. She's full of smiles. She's letting go. And everyone's recognizing that. They have realized like how she used to be so buttoned up and so professional and so polished. And now she's letting you see like her honest true self. Like,
Yeah.
that is still part of the journey, right? She shares the journey. Hello, AM. They're sharing the journey with the audience, like with your fans. You're building that journey together. You're taking them on that journey together. So if you do something that's out of pocket, people will be like, wait a minute, who are you? What is this? And it, depending on what type of community you've nurtured, will depend on how they respond and how vocal they are with you, right?
Wow.
So it's really important that you establish your why, you find your people, you stay consistent, and you stay authentic. But if you want to get more uber specific about the how and what you're making money off of, like there are probably like 10 to 15 different ways, like categories that you can make money. And that's like display ads, like AdSense. That is there is affiliate marketing, which is like earning a percentage of a purchase, like with the link that you've placed on social media. There's sponsored content when you see a sponsored article or a sponsored Instagram or TikTok or Twitter post. There is events. There's product. There is courses. And there's a couple of other like ways that you can, but like those are like the main ones. Subscription, like, so there are different ways that you can leverage your audience, or you can build your audience in certain ways. Subscription's about to be a big deal, like coming up. Because it is. And it's like, then as a business owner, you have to navigate, how do you maintain share of email?
Yeah. So listen, thank you for sharing that information. Like right there is like Oprah Life class, like right there. Viewers and listeners, throw up some hearts, throw up some shares right now. While people are watching and listening, how can they best connect with you? And someone might be saying, do you have resources? Do you work with people? Do you have classes? Do you consult? Any of that?
So I do consult, and I do. I haven't had a class in a long time. I just moved back home to California, so I'm still kind of getting my bearings. But maybe I'll have, who knows? But you can easily catch me on Twitter all the time at Marie Denee.
I can add that.
There we go. Boom. See, she's on it. Like, bam, right there. Then you can catch me on Instagram. I'm slow on Instagram, so don't be mad if it takes me like 2 weeks to respond to something, because I'm barely on there, but I am getting better. I am. That has been my challenge, is learning how to be more visible and be my own brand's ambassador. Like, that is my task. That is like the universe has been talking to me, and I've heard it loud and clear.
Listen, you have put your time in. I mean, because we're not, Twitter, you got, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of followers, Instagram, 57,000. So that, listen, you have definitely already put your time in. Viewers and listeners, if you go to Sharvette.com, we have all of the connection points there linked. If you are listening in the podcast or the talk radio show version, look down below in the show notes, and all of Marie's connection points are there, and so you don't have to worry at all. Let me capture this. Aisha, I met Marie at Blogalicious. She's amazing and a legend. Yes, I concur.
Aisha, you are very kind. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Hey,
thank
boo.
you. Yeah, really appreciate you sharing the many ways to earn money blogging. Yes, Sharon, awesome, awesome share there. Now, events. You mentioned events, and you actually I snuck onto the Instagram, just kind of stepped back in with an amazing brunch, and so you really, I'm sure the pandemic had some impact on your events. So, can you talk a little bit about what you have done in the past with events and how it was impactful for your brand?
Yeah, like the very first event that I did was a blogiversary, right? So it was my first, it was when TCF turned 3, is when I had my very first event.
Yeah.
And I was nervous. I was like, nobody's gonna come. 75 people later, and I'm like, oh my God, we have like crowded out this space. Like, I wasn't ready. But that showed me that the community wanted to get out and wanted to connect.
Yeah.
So if you're unsure about growing your brand, trying to figure out what your audience wants, like pay attention to how they show up. They are very vocal. Like you
Yeah.
ask the question, they'll tell you. So, it's really important to so when I did that, like I started doing, so I did 3, 4, and 5. And by the time we got to year 5, we were at the LA Live Club Nokia. We
Oh,
was fancy. We was fancy.
fancy, honey. I see the hearts. Look, hey girl, hey, I see the hearts coming up.
And so, from there, when I moved to Georgia, that's when I kicked off my expo.
Yeah.
And like for me, I wanted to do this expo. In my head, I imagined like the old school malls. And, I don't know if the young kids are, understand this reference, but like that's where New Kids on the Block and Tiffany and Britney
Yes.
Spears and all, Debbie Gibson and all them would perform in the malls, or there'd be a fashion show in the mall, and then like on
Yes.
the outskirts, that's where the shopping was. And you know what I'm saying? I wanted to
Yes.
kind of recreate that experience because, as we know, as plus size people, we only have 8% of the stores to shop in person.
Right.
8%.
Issues. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm irritated about that, but I wanted to bring that together, and so that grew, or I allowed it to kind of almost outgrow me. Like I had to pull in the reins on that.
Yeah.
And but we did have brunches. I kicked off my brunches in Georgia.
Yeah.
I did those like 3 times. I had a pool party in Georgia, and then we had our cruises. We had 2 years that we went on a cruise. And if this world wasn't so crazy, and if I didn't lose all my face in some of these cruise ships, I would be back on another cruise because it was like everything. And so maybe I got to do like a destination thing. I don't know.
Yeah. The world's opening back up. Maybe I'll be on a cruise at end of June. I'll let you know how things are going. How
Keep
things
me
are.
posted because I don't know, girl. Like,
But I mean, the events, I remember that. And matter of fact, I remember when you were in Georgia, you were doing a YouTube and you had this beautiful turquoise, it was either gray or turquoise,
mhm,
tufted ottoman.
I
And
do.
you
I
had
do.
this beautiful closet in the room. And you were,
Hmm.
see, I'm a legit fan. I don't even remember how long ago that was, but I loved
That was
those. And
Georgia.
like, how has YouTube changed for you? Have you kept YouTube? Like, what are you doing
You
with YouTube?
know, part of my challenge has been, and I will say this, like speaking frankly, as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
especially as a first generation, especially as a Black woman, like I did not know like what I didn't know. Like
Hmm.
everything in this space as we were growing, um, was like kind of growing organically, right? It
Yeah.
was passion driven, it was organic. So one thing that I really missed, or one thing that was probably like my biggest lesson up through last year, was
Mm.
operations.
Ah.
And
Mhm.
really understand, because I was growing, and then I would have to like, shrink a little bit, and then I would be growing and then I'd have to shrink. So like my growth has been really slow because I didn't understand like the operational pieces in a way where things clicked. And it wasn't like you can go and Google how to grow from a blog to a digital media platform, because even
Right.
to this very day, it'll give you social media results. And that's not what, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
there was nothing that was like breaking this down, and I didn't have like mainstream, like the how to of it all. So,
Yeah.
I was able I actually just got into this accelerator for Black owned media platforms, this Bomisi accelerator. And I'm really grateful because I'm being mentored and
Yeah.
I'm really understanding like what my new role needs to look like and what it needs to be.
Mhm.
What type of, even just even operational like budgeting, like
Yeah.
understanding how to move with confidence in that, because if you don't have those tools, like they will hinder your growth or they
Mm.
will become roadblocks because you can't, there's no way. And I can't be the only person who's working on my business because like I'm tired.
Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. That's real
So
talk. Thank you for sharing that authentic, like real talk. And we have tons of entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, like that's our listenership. So you all hearted up because this is like real talk. Let me capture this comment. Do you think you will
yes.
develop a framework as you're developing operationally?
So Sharon, yes. And it's crucial, right? So one of the things that I learned is that while I'm the founder and the editor in chief, like my role, my job is to lead and to leadership and vision. And
Hmm.
I need to be an ambassador for my company. And so that means I need to show up. So had it not been for me using my human design, because of course, like I'm a nerd, I am a projector, so I have to wait for the invitation, but I also have to be recognized for my work. So I had one random Twitter thread where I was like talking about like what, I was kind of trying to learn how to pop my collar, and Charvette was like, "Hey girl, well, I got something for you. Like, let's talk." And so like this is like all by design. Like this is no accident that I'm here talking with you. But when it comes to systems, yes, I had to learn my role, right?
Mm.
And so everything is about standard operating procedures, SOPs. That
Yeah,
means like, I have to now start taking everything out of my head that I have systematized and automated and
yeah,
put it into processes and procedures so that this way I can pass it off to someone, and that person has the 1 through 100 steps of how things should be, what they should look like. You put a dot there, you put a space
yeah.
there, like everything is like like thrown up on a piece of paper, like and it's just how I want it and how I need it to my standards. And
Mhm.
that process, creating these SOPs, like that is the biggest um hurdle because it takes the longest time. So now we have a lot of tools in AI that are helping
Yeah.
us, like Loom can screen record a process and then you can get it transcribed or turned into text, like all of that kind of fun stuff. So it's yes, you do need a process, and it needs to be, and probably the first thing is finding someone in operations.
That's so
That
good.
has to be the first person, especially if you're a more creative, visionary person.
Yeah.
You're more like the creative
Right
right brain.
brain.
You're
Yeah.
going to need that left brain operations person to keep you from, hitting the guardrails,
Yeah.
to keep things like moving on, because like, that has been my, and to do it in a way where you could see it and understand it, because for the
Yeah.
longest time I could see it but I couldn't understand it. I couldn't bring it back to let it click. And
Yeah.
so, I've made a lot of mistakes, and you are going to make mistakes while making those like systems. But the beautiful part about it is your ability to pivot, your
Yes.
ability to regroup, and to re-strategize and then like relaunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the business of blogging, and we could just say the business because every business needs what Marie just said. Shout out. Thank you so much. Hello, Lady Di. Hey, girl. Hey, thank you. Evening to all. Thank you for all those that are here and still coming on in. Listen, we could literally probably talk for 2 more hours. I want to honor your time here as we get ready to wrap up. But the last question I have for you: plus size fashion, size inclusive, all of these terms that we're hearing. What's the biggest shift or the biggest change you've seen specifically in the plus size fashion industry and influencing through these years?
Visibility,
Mm.
especially on social. I mean, like you can go to TikTok, you know, there was multiple communities, right?
Yeah.
So you're seeing like these um these intersections of or different types of communities growing around certain plus and
Mhm.
um at that intersection, I think you're seeing more. We're still in our infancy. If you look at it, a growth curve, we're like at that like this part of it where some things have felt like it's retracted because of this pandemic. You're seeing,
Yeah.
for me, I'm paying attention to all the moves that are happening at the C-suite level, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this brand and acquired this brand and acquired this brand, done switched this person over here, this person's gone. I'm watching those things to
Yeah.
see how it plays out. Like I said, you know, this is just how I nerd out around this. But I think what is interesting is to see that it's still going strong. It is
Yeah.
adapting to the different tools, different platforms that are around, but then like things still come full circle because people are still going to websites to read articles, right?
Yeah.
People are still like, even with all the pieces of social media, they're still coming back. And you're starting to see people moving away from social into their own platforms. So it'll be
Mhm.
interesting to see just like how much social media, the recession, impacts on the heels of a pandemic impacts the plus size space. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of like everyone's kind of strategizing, trying to figure out. Like there's a lot that's like kind of brewing.
We'll have to keep our eye on it. And certainly, I am always an advocate as a former web designer, was an advocate for websites, any kind of websites, of having a blog. Because when people go to Google, Google is pulling up blogs. Now, yes, they're pulling video and some podcasts, but they're looking for blog information. That's what they're pulling up. And so that's this topic. Wow. Thank you for being here. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. I know you have done that. We want to know, as the last thing, what continues to motivate you?
I What motivates me? Possibility, right?
Mm, yeah.
Um, right now, like I had a rough ass year last year. And
Mm,
so I find myself in a space of rebuilding, regrowth, like
yeah.
all the re's basically. And what's really exciting is like I see the path, I have clarity, I have like regained my confidence.
Oh,
I am now like, okay, well, if I did all of this without confidence, like wait till we get ready, like let's
y'all,
go.
y'all ain't gonna be ready. Y'all ain't gonna be ready.
You know, possibility motivates me, like getting to know like the community, like meeting readers like offline, like that motivates me, that excites me a lot, like getting the emails and being like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you know, yes, I cried one day. This girl had been reading me since she was in 8th grade.
Ooh, wow.
I'm
Wow.
like, wait a minute, 8th grade.
Like, let me do the math. Let me do the math on that.
Right, you know, like that kind of connect to know that I have that kind of
Mhm.
connectivity with someone, like, is extremely humbling, and it feeds me, like, feeds my soul, feeds my spirit to know that, like, my work is not falling, you know, that I'm helping make some kind of impact.
Absolutely.
That's
You
what motivates me.
absolutely are. You absolutely are. Thank you so much for this opportunity again. A little bit of a fangirl because I have this show started like 2009. So it kind of,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we actually started 2009 on Blog Talk Radio. So again, a little bit in that space. We're still actually on Blog Talk Radio as one of our outlets, but definitely have bought clothes, click those links. And so I know you got some affiliate links from some of the shopping. So thank you for all the work that you're doing and that you continue to do in this space. And keep going, girl. Keep going.
Thank you so much, and I received that, and I will.
Yes. Thank you so much. Oh boy, this was so fun. So, if you just came and you're like, wait, I missed it, no problem. You can, wherever you are watching or listening, you can go back and catch the full thing. Matter of fact, share it with someone. One of the easiest places is charvette.com. We have a full blog post about our guest, her full bio, all the links, clickable links to her social media are right there on charvette.com. So that's one of the easiest places. You can watch the YouTube video from there. You'll be able to hear the Blog Talk Radio video version from there. So that is one of the main places there. I invite you to follow her, connect with her. Again, definitely my plus size sisters, you gotta make the connection there. But really grounded in amazing information. And again, once more, and again, this segment is brought to you by we have a webinar that is coming up on Thursday, 3 Keys to More Revenue, all related to your positioning, your visibility. That word came up a couple times during this, and authority. And this is really great for those of you that provide professional services. We want to talk about these 3 things. It feels like a pop-up. I only gave you 2 days notice. That's all right. Y'all know how to rearrange things. Join me Thursday, May 18th at 7 p.m. for our webinar, and I'll drop the link wherever you are watching. You'll be able to get to the link. It's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this amazing conversation. We'll see you all later on the web.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.